What's good, YouTube? This your boy Chi World, back at y'all again. Get my pop filter. What's good, you guys? This your boy Chi World, back at y'all again with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to a video titled "Popular YouTuber Accuses of Kidnapping Two Women." Man, and I know this YouTuber too, named Corey. I don't know him personally. I know him by watching him over the years, watching his channel and his content. And it's just sad to see, man, that all this negative attention is going around his name and shit now. Man, bro. Let's get into this video and see what it's about, man. I hate to see the downfall of anybody that's successful, because I know how hard it is to get to that level and shit like that. We don't wish that on nobody, but let's jump right into this reaction video.
Look, we'll go there. Come on. Can't get over here. My car
is now accused of kidnapping two women. But the story doesn't end there. Authorities say the Texas-based content creator fled the United States by booking a one-way ticket and hopping on a nearly 20-hour flight all the way to the Middle East. So how did a man with millions of social media followers end up charged with aggravated kidnapping? Well, it all began on November 22nd. That's when a woman exchanged numbers with 26-year-old Corey Pritchett Jr. The woman told authorities the following day she and another woman met up with Pritchett. They did some pretty harmless activities like working out, ATV riding, then bowling. But it was at the bowling alley where things took an intense turn. While there, the two women felt like something was off when Pritchett and his two friends started acting strange. The women told police they were repeatedly looking around, seemed on edge, and were acting suspicious. The unnamed women told police
he probably feel like he was getting set up. Because you got to think, when you successful and you dealing with these strangers, women you don't know, a lot of them are backdoor you. So he probably already looking around like at the last minute and noticing something strange going on, or probably noticing a car following him, and automatically red flag drawing off. He assuming they got something to do with it. Cause that's what really go on, man. Like, women will set you up for real, get you killed.
He learned Pritchett and his friends were having issues with another group that was there at the bowling alley. So they reportedly told Pritchett if he continued acting that way, he should just leave with his friends. Pritchett in turn stepped out with his friends, but never returned, leaving the women behind. After some time, the women texted him because they left their stuff in his car. So he asked them to meet at the H-E-B grocery store parking lot to get their stuff back. When the two women showed up, he switched gears and offered to drive them home, and they said yes. But according to the women, Pritchett flipped the script once again. During that drive, he reportedly began acting erratically and skipped what was supposed to be the route to drop them off. The women say Pritchett claimed someone was after him and started making phone calls. Then Pritchett began driving at high speeds, going past 100 miles per hour. The women claim he pulled out a gold-colored handgun and started waving it around the sunroof while still driving erratically fast, then began firing off rounds out of the car window. One of the women reportedly told Pritchett to take her back to her apartment and try to calm him down by asking him to pray with them.
He was paranoid. Shit. I think when you that successful, bro, you really gotta know how to move. You can't just be moving like you regular to even put yourself in a situation where you will feel like you have to have a gun. You know what I'm saying? He's so wealthy, he shouldn't even be nowhere where he wouldn't think he would need a gun. You know what I'm saying?
But he still continued driving crazy fast down the I-10 highway. Pritchett then made a video call to a woman reportedly saved in his phone under future wife. He asked the woman on the call, "If I had the perfect opportunity and was in the middle of nowhere where no one could hear them scream, should I just go ahead and do it?" And the woman on the line reportedly responded, yes. For the women in Pritchett's car, though, they were seemingly in fear of their lives. The women told police that Pritchett told them, "I'm gonna F y'all and then kill y'all." By this point, the women said they were texting one another during all of this, but authorities say Pritchett then started pointing the gun at them and took their phones away so they couldn't communicate with each other. According to police, Pritchett then pulled off the highway onto the shoulder of I-10 near Sealy, Texas. Seemingly with a change of heart, he told the women to get out of his car, telling them this is your only opportunity. One of the women said she tried to get her phone back but wasn't able to. Then Pritchett drove off, leaving them stranded on the side of the road at night. The women told police they spent more than an hour along the side of the highway before they were able to flag down a driver who called 911. But clues pieced together by investigators would help corroborate their story. One of the women had the Life 360 app on her phone, and screenshots, which included timestamps and the route they took, supported the victim's story of what happened. Pritchett was ID'd through his driver's license and social media pages.
Yeah,
but when
man,
investigators reached out,
shit looking bad, especially when you just up and leave the country too, boy. I'm pretty sure they gonna all have to go to court for this, and shit, we gonna hear both sides of the story, because I don't like to form too many opinions with just one side. We want to know what really, get both of the stories from both sides, then we want to put our true opinions together.
out to him, his phone was no longer in service. Instead, they
This
found
sound
out through
crazy.
TikTok
If
that he was
that's the
planning to
case,
move
you
to
just
Dubai.
randomly
I moved to Dubai.
go crazy.
The people that's wondering. Feel so good out here. My kids, listen. So I'm having more kids, right? With my future wife, for sure. And Aiden. My kids are gonna be homeschooled, bro. It's getting real wicked in the United States. A lot of y'all not paying attention because a lot of y'all sleep, and the news outlets are not speaking on a lot of that's going on there. It's gonna get real over there. Y'all might think I'm lying. Y'all might think I'm just talking. Y'all seen other people probably saying it. But you know, people don't believe until the shit hit the fan. That's one thing I noticed about most people in the United States. They want to party, live life, until it hit the fan. When it hit the fan, then everybody like, oh, they want to scatter. Nah.
But according to the FBI, they confirmed Pritchett bought a one-way ticket to Qatar on December 9th. A little more than 2 weeks later after buying that one-way plane ticket, Pritchett was officially charged on December 26th with 1 count of aggravated kidnapping.
I want to give a huge thanks to you, our viewers, and our amazing sponsors like Upside. Upside is a super cool and free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and restaurants. Whether it's a nice restaurant, this account. Here's what you do. 11 Taco Bell and every gallon on your first tank of gas. Again, that's
On January 4th, he posted an article from Houston news station KPRC, along with the caption, "Letter to the internet, it's finna be a ball. Let the show begin, hashtag Houston, Texas. Let me show you how to take monsters down the hashtag smooth way. You see it says accused, right? Don't worry, LOL. I'm finna give you the details on here and in the court of law. They gonna regret effing with me like I'm just some goofy or some. Oh, and I got the..."
And then another thing too, bro, you got a lot of opportunists out there that'll goddamn lie on you, or say you sexually assaulted them or you did something to them. They only go after successful people, so you got to be careful with that too. That could be a possibility. They could be lying about a lot of the details to try to figure out how can I milk this situation, or they could be honestly telling the truth. He just got paranoid, thought he was getting backdoored, and then thought they had something to do with it. You feel me? So it can go either way.
Best lawyer in Houston. A day later, he posted a video with the victims as they were ATV riding. That video was captioned tagging Houston PD as he wrote in part.
Oh shit, wait. It said a day later he was with the victims that claimed that. Nah, they gotta be lying. Who the heck, if this the case, if that really happened, why the fuck you hanging with him again a day later if you was happy to get away the day before? Yeah, they store out. Yeah, they gotta be lying. So that mean shit, nah, bro. They want some money, bro. They want some fucking money. That's what that shit is.
Or some. Oh, and I got the best.
This would probably happen. He probably found out that they was looking at him as a trick, and he probably told them, I want to have some fun with y'all, but I ain't spending no money. And they probably was like, you ain't spending no money, and he kicked them out the whip because they thought it was a trick. That probably what happened, and then they got pissed off that they got put out the whip, so they came up with a story and said we got kidnapped, and all that extra shit. That could be a possibility. Damn, I said possibility. That could be a possibility too, because you ain't hanging with nobody the day later, the day after you said they kidnapped you. Hell
lawyer in
no.
Houston. A day later, he posted a video with the victims as they were ATV riding. That video was captioned tagging Houston PD as he wrote in part, "We have a case here of popular YouTuber Corey SSG kidnapping 2 white girls, and he's currently on the run in Dubai, I think. IDK, but yeah, the FBI should be after him." A pretty wild case that is now ranging across 2 completely different countries that are thousands of
Or
miles
if I'm mistaken, maybe he just posted pictures of them hanging out the day before. On the same day, he just posted it the day later.
away from one another. So let's
Maybe
bring on
so.
retired
Maybe I'm
FBI
wrong.
agent Colin Schmidt to get his thoughts on this. Colin, thank you so much for joining me today. You know, what is your reaction to this case, from Pritchett's alleged erratic behavior to trapping these 2 women allegedly in his car and leaving them stranded on the side of the road, then later fleeing off to Qatar?
Well, I think the first thing for investigators is kind of look at the totality of the circumstances and look at the big picture, as well as look at credibility of
Damn, that
who
boy
the
going through a lot. That's crazy.
complainants are, as well as what's really going on here between these 2 people. And that's based upon the recent instances of YouTubers or bloggers or social media influencers faking their own kidnappings. So to prevent a waste of resources, they have to just take a step back and kind of look at the big picture. And then, of course, if there is some merit to this, then they're going to have to kind of dig in and find out exactly what really went on between these 2.
And investigators also say that, you know, GPS data from Life 360, which was an app that was on one of the women's phones, that helped corroborate their story. Talk to me about how investigators use that type of data to kind of piece together, or at least verify these types of allegations.
Well, in this case, the victim made it easy for law enforcement to track her because they did have the Life 360 app on there. I'm familiar with the app. It's fantastic. And I have used it with my kids as well. So if that wasn't on there, the first step with all these cases, and even if it's a bank robbery or a fraud case, is going to be the phones, and to look in to see if there's any GPS data, tracking data in that phone, to find out and to corroborate what the victim is saying that the assailant did.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, unclear right now, but from what we do know now, do you think the erratic behavior on Pritchett's behalf might have been someone actually after him, as he had told these women allegedly? Or do you think there's another reason, possibly like drugs, that kind of made him act
That's what
erratically
I'm
during
thinking.
this?
I think it gotta be one of the 2. He thought somebody was actually after him. He thought them girls had something to do with it. Or he was on some drugs. But what could have been avoided, bro? He a wealthy young man. He could have been hanging around other wealthy people where he didn't have to worry about the type of crowd of somebody even wanting to follow him to do something bad to him, where he feel he need to carry a gun. Anytime you get successful, put yourself around successful people. Don't try to put yourself in dangerous environments where you feel you need your gun. That's stupid. That's like walking backwards, bro. Like,
whole
why
incident.
make it out of
Well,
a
with
rough
the limited
situation
information
to be around
available,
negative environments
you'd
that
be
put you in
speculating on
situations like
why
this.
he was acting so erratic. So when somebody's
And
acting
don't do
erratic, there's some
drugs,
sort
y'all.
of a catalyst or some sort of antecedent that make them do that. So either it's something internal or external, and that's one thing that's going to come out, you know, so to speak, in the wash as the investigators do their investigation and start talking to people and find out why he was behaving in such an odd manner. And then the fact that he fled to Qatar, which is kind of an unusual country to go to, because of it, you know, I doubt he speaks Arabic. That, you know, does he have some sort of connection to that country?
Yeah, and I was also, you know, going to ask you what your thoughts are on him fleeing to Qatar. You know, what all goes into extraditing a kidnapping suspect? And in your opinion, how long do you think?
Kidnapping, boy. I don't know how the hell he gonna get. And he left. That shit just look bad, boy. He might have well he probably went over there. You know what he did? Probably went over there to buy himself some time. Get him a lawyer. They sit down. They come up with a game plan. Then he come back to the States. Turn himself in. Because yeah, when you dealing with kidnapping allegations, bro, and you get accused of that shit, it's a wrap, boy. They gonna throw away the key, boy. That shit like having some bricks of coke on your ass or some
think
shit.
it'll take before he's actually back in the United States?
Well, first thing is if we have extradition with Qatar, I'm not aware whether we do or don't for that particular crime, because extradition is crime specific. Some crimes are extraditable, some aren't.
This shit, though,
And then
man.
the extradition
so
process is generally very long and takes
that
at least a
crazy.
year to 2
I hate
years.
the downfall
Generally,
of
what
men,
the
bro.
authorities do is they just have the country
Even
expel or deport the
real,
person that's there. It's a much
make.
faster process. Unless the person has some sort of citizenship with that country. And I doubt this gentleman has any citizenship with Qatar.
And do you think that trip was planned this whole time, or do you think he kind of did it as an escape to escape those now criminal charges that he's facing? Because I can't imagine, you know, leaving your children behind to go start a new life in a completely different country and just, you know, leave them behind in Texas.
Well, if he was going to Mexico, I would say there wasn't a lot of thought put into it, because obviously it's just right over the border. But to take an international flight, I mean, you have to fly through an international hub, whether it be Houston or Los Angeles or New York, and then make a couple of connections to get to Qatar. So, and then, of course, the flight itself is pretty expensive. And then there is going to be some scrutiny on him on when he lands through the authorities there in Qatar. So there had to be some sort of planning to go into it, because like I said, he's just not driving his car over the border going down to Mexicali. He's going to a foreign country, and it's approximately an 18-hour flight.
Yeah, and booking that one-way ticket as well, too. I can't even imagine kind of going back
That's
to this
crazy.
alleged crime as well. You know, can't imagine what it was like for these two women who were stranded on that highway until they were able to flag down a driver who eventually called 911, and then authorities arrived as well, too. But, you know, kind of going back to the overall alleged offense in this case, what do you kind of make of just leaving two women stranded on a highway and then just, again, fleeing off to a completely different country?
Well, that tells me that there wasn't much thought put into this. It sounds more like this was an impulse crime. He was reacting to some sort of something maybe the women had done to him, or vice versa.
I think he was put in a situation. If he wasn't under the influence or something, I think he was put in a situation to have to think on the spot. That's why this whole shit give me set up vibes. I feel like he probably was in a situation where they was attempting to set this man up, and he had to do some shit to back your way out of it. That's what I'm feeling like. But we gonna find out later on, because a story like this, they gonna get to the bottom of it. They gonna get to the bottom of it. But I can't wait till we hear both sides of the story. Cause most of the time, whoever side we hear first, that's the side we side with. So I want to hear his side of the story, what took place, and then I want to hear their side of the story, and then the truth gonna be somewhere in the middle.
Versa, and this was reaction, and he didn't think it through, and then I think finally it kind of
because if a nigga is successful and just pick one day to do some shit to throw it all away, come on now. Most cases that is the case, but I don't think Corey ain't never did shit to get law attention, like to be getting in trouble like this. So I'm pretty sure he was put in a situation where he felt like, bro, what the fuck going on? Like, he was put in that situation, but at the same time, gotta hold yourself accountable. You put yourself in these situations by being in them surroundings. Like I said, if you successful and you choosing to go places where you know you might need a gun, that's on you. You should be wise enough to know, like, bro, I ain't even finna go to this hood. I ain't finna go to this club because it ain't nothing but negative. Some crazy shit might go down and I got shit to lose. Like, so if you putting yourself in these situations, you still gotta hold yourself accountable. If you dealing with women that you feel got that back door, them hood rat vibes, that's all on you at the end of the day. I think when you level up as a man, you should be more you should be more, what you call it, cautious. You should be very cautious of who you surround yourself with, who you let around you, from men to women. You should be super selective the more successful you get, because you got something to protect now. Like, I'm somebody. I gotta make sure y'all ain't coming around with no funny shit. Y'all ain't coming around with no lies or trying to pin something on me or trying to make accusations so you can make up lies to sue me. I have to be very cautious who I let around my circle. So I feel like he was moving reckless, man. Treating it, acting like he's still normal. If it wind up being a case where he just got put in a bad situation, you still gotta hold yourself accountable either way it go, bro, because you too successful to even be in a situation like this. Too damn successful.
On him that what he had done is basically going to land him in jail, and he essentially panicked, kicked him out or put him on the side of the road, and then obviously left the country. So he's definitely has a lot going on inside his head, and this case is only going to probably get stranger as the investigators dig in.
Yeah, and you mentioned something earlier in our discussion, just about his whole social media persona, which is kind of another added layer to this whole entire story. Pritchett has millions of followers across different social media platforms, but then you tack on this alleged behavior and this alleged or this crime as well too. What do you make of all of that, given that he was this kind of apparent rise on social media, and then he got kind of famous as well too, doing family content, and then for this to kind of come out? What do you make of just kind of that Jekyll and Hyde situation that we're kind of seeing all unfold?
Well, that's from where I started with this, that because of his social media presence, law enforcement is going to have to kind of dig in and kind of determine what the motive behind this was. Maybe he had no intent of harming these women. He was just doing this for the classic clicks. Or, like I said, he had something going on in his life that made him panic.
I don't think he really had intents of harming anybody. Or I don't even think he had the intentions of actually kidnapping nobody. For real, to be honest with you. I think sometimes we do certain things not knowing that's what it's classified as. So he probably was riding with the women in the car, start giving backdoor setup vibes, and then start being harassing. Now all of a sudden, that riding people in your car turned into a damn kidnapping case because they in your car. You feel me? So,
but it seems like there's such in society now, there's such a intense pressure to get quote unquote clicks, that we see these social media people doing some amazingly stupid and abhorrent things. And frankly, I think law enforcement and the society as a whole is really kind of getting tired of it, and the hammer is starting to fall on these people for their behaviors.
Hell no.
Say Pritchett makes it back to the United States. He's facing this kidnapping charge. How long of a potential sentence or punishment do you think that he could be facing now?
Well, if the federal authorities get involved, I believe you could get up to life in prison for kidnapping. So
shit like
depending on the circumstances and if it's provable. In this case, he didn't take the victims over state lines, so there's an argument that it's not a federal crime. However, there is a kidnapping statute in Texas. So, and Texas has a pretty aggressive law enforcement culture there. So he's going to be facing some jail time if it turns out that this was legitimate kidnapping and these women are willing to testify.
All right. Well, Colin, I want to thank you so much for joining me and giving me insight into this case. Before we sign you off, though, anything else you'd like to add?
I think it just comes, like I said, full circle about all this social media clicking nonsense, and it's really gotten out of hand. And
I don't think it's a social media clicking thing on this case. And I don't even think that guy that's talking knew what kind of content Corey made. He wasn't no clickbait content maker where you just run in a store and you do some dumb shit to get a lot of views. He never made that type of content. So I don't agree with him doing this whole having this whole ordeal with tied in with a clickbait.
it's
just
long
the
past
wrong
time
attention,
for
and he
authorities to start
his
cracking
brain
down
went about the
because
wrong
people
attention.
are getting harmed.
Oh, intentionally
All right,
not
Colin,
trying to
again,
be.
thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
According to reports, law enforcement is making an effort to bring Corey Pritchett Jr. back to the United States. In one of his latest Instagram posts, Pritchett wrote he was back on the way to the U.S. because he had a meeting in Houston. That post was followed by another with the caption, "See y'all when I get out. Crazy everybody want to see me behind bars for accusations I didn't do. I know God got me. Love all my..."
They gonna get to the bottom of it, man, but at the end of the day, when you become successful, bro, don't put yourself in these situations. Don't do it, man. You really gotta stay out the way. You gotta stay out the way, cause you got more people that want what you got and to do anything to get it. They'll sue you, they'll rob you, they'll lie on you, they'll set you up, they'll do so much. So you gotta make sure you putting yourself in environments where you ain't gotta worry about none of this shit. Gotta protect yourself, move smart. The higher you get up, you gotta learn how to be more wiser, and you gotta move smart. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stay tuned, more here coming soon, and we out.